This is False Start, the college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for Fansided. I'm joined today by a man who is just lighting up my day like the reflection off of Freddie Freeman's veneers after the Los Angeles Dodgers just won the World Series. I hate this so much right now. Cody Williams, content director, fansided.com. How are you doing?
Like I said earlier, man, it was Hitler versus Stalin. I think Stalin won. So, tough for all of us.
Yeah, it's like rooting for the Axis powers, man.
It really, really is. But
Yeah, you catch
hey,
up to
I'm
your
happy
boss.
for Mookie. Mookie's still my boy. Mookie, I can't hate Mookie. And that's the only person I'm happy for is Mookie Betts. So
I'm
shouts to
just
Mookie Betts.
I'm just glad Clayton Kershaw's done. I don't
Yeah.
the least clutch player of all time.
Yeah, he got to get one out in the World Series. So,
Yeah, I know.
congratulations for your immense contributions.
And speaking of immense contributions, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're at 49 subscribers now. We're trying to get to 50 and 55 and beyond here. But yeah, we're really making this thing going. And again, we're doing 3 yards in the cloud of punt here today. We'll have a Monday episode, which we're recording tomorrow or later, a couple of few hours today on Sunday.
God, it's so soon. It's so soon that we have to record that.
They were like playing like 4 episodes ahead, and then Cody and I are going to be rotating a playoff Goldilocks bidding on Tuesday, and you're going first to reformat the show a little bit. But those are always fun because like we love just figuring out what the committee does and reacting in real time.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, we're very good at just getting irrational about certain things in the immediate heat of the moment. So we love that.
And, on that note, I'm going to start this off here with my with our first run of the day. I've got two things here that I'm most certainly running with. I'm running with Indiana being ranked number one on
Mm.
Tuesday's first playoff rankings, and I'm also going to run with the Georgia Bulldogs just winning ugly baby.
Oh yeah, 100%, man.
It may not happen, and maybe the AP voters are just lusting over Ohio State, but I think through the first like 2 months in a week, like it's pretty clear Indiana's the best team. Fernando Mendoza had that moment where he's the Heisman. He's like he just walked off, waved to his brother. And his brother's just playing against Maryland and beating the snot out of Mike Loxley's team. It's great.
Just give the Mendozas, like both of them, a joint Heisman because they're both leading Indiana's offense right now. Because Fernando doesn't have to play fourth quarters anymore. It's just not a thing that's in his arsenal right now.
No, I can imagine the Mendoza brothers showing up to New York wearing matching tuxedos doing the interview together.
We're here to
Hello,
FS up, man. Like, let's go.
hello, Miss Lady.
Are you saying pan?
You know, I heard about the fart. That was the turtle soup that was just farted there, and
Is that
God,
onions? Is that onions?
ketchup and onion tip of my tongue. But yeah, Indiana's ketchup and onions, and like they're making everybody just close their eyes because it's just so bad with their bidding that they're getting. It's like they're basically the guys making Brendan Huff eat that white dog crap on the floor.
They really are, man. It's been really impressive. Like Maryland's not a bad football team. Maryland's a good
No,
football. They're not great by any stretch of the imagination, but they're a good football team. And like Fernando Mendoza did not play his best game today by any stretch of the imagination. He had a couple rushing touchdowns, yes, but like through the air, I think he was like 11 through for 18, threw a pick early in the game, and kind of got Indiana behind the eight ball. And it goes back to what I've been saying, man. This team is miles better than it was a year ago. And it's not just from Fernando Mendoza. They can beat you in so many ways. You got Hemby in the backfield, who I think is a much more effective back than what they had last year. You got Surratt and Cooper on the outside, so you have multiple weapons on the outside that can beat you with Mendoza in the passing game. And I think this defense is even better than it was a year ago. Like it's just they can whenever you think that you have Indiana like in a bind, they find another way to beat you. And today it was the defense and Hemby that got them going.
so two things. So I'm looking up Maryland. Maryland's decent. Maryland just needs to beat Rutgers and Michigan State, which they can do to go to a bowl game.
Yeah.
Probably not going to beat Michigan or Illinois, but like you're probably going to go 6-6, and that's going to be okay.
You should. If you
You
don't,
should.
then we should reevaluate the Mike Loxley staying situation.
100%. But I was thinking about this with Indiana. I feel like they're the perfect combination of what made Penn State and Wisconsin special merge into one. Like
Yeah.
you've got the togetherness and the defense and the physicality of Wisconsin, but you also have a little bit you have a little bit of the blue collar thing with Penn State. You have a little bit more flash on offense. You also have the ability just to just to give it to bad teams. And like obviously the Nittany Lions and Badgers are not that anymore. Indiana's just, robbed them like the Monstars.
No, and like one of the other qualities that I've noticed this year, and it's very similar to last year's Ohio State team in a lot of ways, is one thing you noticed about Ohio State last year, particularly in the playoff, is when they smelled blood in the water, they were sharks, man. And this
Yeah.
Indiana team is absolutely a bunch of sharks right now. And like that stems from Curt Cignetti. It truly does. Because when you listen to like we talked earlier, like, going into the season about Curt Cignetti was kind of taking over the villain role to some degree.
Yeah.
And he's never going to be a villain to me because I love the dude. I think he's hilarious and I think he's a damn good football coach. But at the same time, like he started to turn into the villain because his confidence is unwavering. Like he has
Yeah.
just an immense amount of confidence, and when you have that type of confidence and you see, like you preach that throughout your team and you instill that type of culture as quickly as he has, like when you smell blood in the water, those guys are going to want to make good on it. Those guys are going to want to instill that confidence in themselves as well.
Two other thoughts about Indiana before I move on to Georgia here. So, you mentioned like you smell blood in the water. And I don't necessarily think Ohio State's doing that this year. Ohio
No,
State's really good, but they'll play with their food a little bit. I don't know if that's really the right word with it, but like they don't like they let people back into games is kind of what I would say. Like they're
they don't
they're
run the ball very well.
no, they're kind of backdoor cover slots basically.
Yeah, 100%. And like I mean, we saw it with two teams today. We're talking about another one, but like Texas couldn't run the ball and it almost allowed Vanderbilt to come back
Yeah,
today. And so like when you don't have the ability to run the ball and like two and another thing with Ohio State is like yes, they have elite playmakers on the outside, but they don't necessarily have like they haven't been an explosive offense in this,
no.
especially not in the same way that they were a year ago. And like that's worrisome. And it's also two traits that Indiana does not have to worry about because they do run the ball well and they do hit explosive plays.
And then with like the blood in the water, like I don't necessarily trust A&M. I think the Aggies were like on a bye this week, and we'll see what kind of goes on with that. But like the other thing with Indiana that people don't realize is like Curt Cignetti is a like a Nick Saban disciple. Like he's cut from that same cloth. So like what we're seeing out of him is kind of what we see out of Kirby Smart and other guys that have served under them, like Lane a little bit too. Like
Mhm.
they kind of feel themselves. Mario when he's not being an idiot, which is all the time, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like when you think about it, and like you think about like the Nick Saban coaching tree, he's almost Curt Cignetti's almost a mix of Kirby and Lane. Like he
Yeah,
has the cheekiness of Lane mixed with like the ferocity of Kirby Smart.
you know, Sark's kind of like the fake tough guy dog that'll bark at you through the fence, but then it'll just like have its tongue out there. Signetti will
Yeah,
just bite. Signetti will just bite you in the
100%.
groin.
Yeah, he'll hop the fence just to bite you in the groin.
And that dog will bite you. Anyway, and my dogs will bite you in the first half here. Georgia
Hmm.
is like the best second half team ever. It's not a fun watch. Texas is kind of figuring it out too a little bit, but honestly, kind of more of like it's like Texas is like Harry Potter. Like he just falls ass backwards into figuring this thing out. But
It,
Georgia they do figure it out.
no, they really do, and like you could see like a tight game coming in the cocktail party from a mile away. Like you have the dead cat bounce of Florida firing Billy Napier and like having the bye week to get ready for this game. And then like Georgia isn't necessarily a team that I think plays with its food necessarily,
No,
but like there nothing about this Georgia team is smooth. And like I'm not even saying that as a super negative thing because
no,
they're gritty, they find ways to win. They very much take the personality of Gunnar Stockton in a lot of ways, but like at the same time like like I'm not a Georgia fan in the way that you are, but like it doesn't make for a fun Saturday for you, I'm sure, when they're playing like this.
no. There's a few things that is smooth. Like Peyton Woodring, I usually
Yeah.
trust to kick. Brett Thorson had an awful punt, which basically afforded the Gators like their first half touchdown,
It's
which
like
was just
26 yards, wasn't it? Like it was super
yeah,
short.
it was really bad. Like I know he like had like a knee injury towards the end of
Yeah.
last year, and he's still trying to sort through that. But with Branch, they kind of throw it to him outside and say, "Okay, go dodge traffic." And sometimes he dodges the wrench, sometimes he's Frogger.
I was about to say we should nickname him Frogger, Zachariah Frogger Branch.
Yeah, Zach Frogger Branch. But like and this kind of goes into the other thing. Like Gunnar Stockton is it's like Stetson Bennett again. It's like he's just He's not the dumbassery is not really with him.
Mhm.
He did take a knee on the 1 yard line, so he wouldn't get yelled at for going Superman in the end zone.
100%. You could
But
see the demons like going through his head right before he took the knee. He like wanted to die very badly.
Oklahoma wanted to do that too, and John Mateer's like, I'm just going in there to pad some stats that don't matter. But
100%.
it, it's like Georgia like gave Florida like 10 points kind of based off of like turnovers early. The first off, that pick's not on stock. That's a Matt Ryan, like the receiver dropped it kind of a pick. I've seen that so many times.
100%.
But then he threw it to Noah Thomas later, and he totally redeemed himself. Got a touchdown reception there. It's like clockwork. I think it was something like Georgia in like five of its last six games have either trailed or been like or tied at halftime. I think the only one is Kentucky. And then I think UJ Spike Squats is like, this is the best we've been. We're tied, man. We can do anything.
It's all right. We're capable of anything. No, I mean like Georgia is one of the least enjoyable, like for me in a neutral perspective, they're one of the least enjoyable teams to watch that I trust, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like it's not like when I watch bring Indiana back into this, like I trust Indiana wholly at this point. Like
Yes.
they may not win every game, they may not win a national championship, but you put them on the field with any team I've seen in college football, and I know that Indiana is going to deliver a good performance in their best effort. And I'm not saying Georgia's not giving effort, but it's like it's going to be sloppy. There are going to be plays where you're like, what is happening? And whether that's Gunnar Stockton and his inexperience, whether that's Mike Bobo calling some play that you're just like, that's complete BS. What are you doing? Like, how are you an offensive coordinator? Or that's Glenn Schumann being not terribly good at his job. Like, whatever it is, like, there's a lot of things that don't work for Georgia, and yet I still trust them because, like, they keep figuring out ways to get it done. And I mean, you even go back to their one loss in the year to Alabama, they still almost found a way to get that done. And that's against the number four team in the country right now.
That's just because Boba got, infatuated with something called Cash Jones. But that's
Right.
But like what Georgia does is, they run the football with conviction, which always gives them an opportunity to dominate time of possession. They'll play great defense once they make adjustments. They'll force a turnover here or there. Smart on special teams, and I think really the other big thing is like they're not afraid of a ticking clock, whereas I
No.
think a lot of other teams feel that a little bit more. And again, that's kind of the cue that like the team takes from Stockton and Kirby, whereas Carson Beck's just out there blaming people. Man, what a sad bag of crap that is. We'll get to that in a little bit.
We will get to that. Yeah, I would venture to say that you probably feel a lot better about Gunnar Stockton in these spots that Georgia has been in than you would if Carson Beck was still the quarterback in Athens.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But I'll keep us running and I'll go to our next run, man, because we'll talk about some teams that are definitely not the same profile of Indiana and Georgia, but are still getting it done. And that's one is from the state of Indiana, and the other one is mortal enemy of mine, and that's the Virginia Cavaliers, who lo and behold, they've got a stranglehold on the ACC all of a sudden. They are the front runners to get to Charlotte and put the Charlotte in Charlottesville, as you so wisely put it. And then Notre Dame is the other team from Indiana who they had a big week, and not to pat myself on the back too hard, put a hole back there or anything, but I've been saying that they had a clear shot to the college football playoff for a while, and this week just made it even clearer, man. It's hard to see the Irish really not making the playoff at this point.
no. When we do playoffs, you couldn't me tomorrow show like we're gonna have Virginia and we're gonna have Notre Dame in the top 12. Certainly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel great about the Virginia aspect of it. Like, I still don't think this team, like, when you look at the final score today, you're going to see a 10-point win on the road at Cal, which, you had to travel across country, and I understand that's a tough spot. You got to pick six basically as time expired. Like
Yeah.
you had like Cal had the ball down three with a chance to go down the field and like either tie or win this game. And Virginia's had a lot of those games. We've talked about it. They played three straight overtime games coming into this game, including one against North Carolina. Like they're imperfect, yet they keep winning ball games, man. And now they have so many advantages with Georgia Tech going down, with Miami basically eliminating themselves from the ACC championship conversation because Virginia has the tiebreaker. So Virginia basically has a three-game lead on Miami in the conference
Hmm.
right now.
And they've got the head-to-head over Louisville.
Yeah. So like Virginia is sitting pretty, and I mean, it will be interesting to see because Virginia does have the loss to NC State on like working against them. If we get to the ACC championship and Virginia enters it at 11-1, let's say, and they lose the ACC championship game, I don't think 11-2 is getting in there. But like as of right now, they're the only team that hasn't tripped up in the ACC, which is crazy to say.
It's like them, Georgia, and Texas. Like they all play these weird games. Like Georgia is like, okay, we can figure this out. Texas is like the Harry Potter, whatever it is. Virginia's somewhere in between. Virginia, I don't feel is falling ass backwards into these wins, but I feel like maybe the North Carolina one a little bit.
Yeah.
But like some of the other ones, like they went out there and they took it from Florida State. Like, they made we projected that like they were gonna lose at Cal. Didn't quite do that. And I
Mhm.
mean they actually they won. They didn't do that. But it's I guess maybe like maybe Tony Elliott just has a really good pulse of his team, and maybe he's just a
Mhm.
really good coach. And now you see Clemson falling apart. Maybe this is like maybe he was kind of more of the secret sauce, even more so than Venables in some ways.
That's definitely entirely possible. Virginia is very akin to BYU in a lot of
Yeah,
ways, in the way that like if you're someone like me who tries to take the whole picture, which includes a lot of the advanced stats and stuff like that, it doesn't make sense why Virginia and BYU are in a lot of these spots, man. It really doesn't. Like how like if I'm remembering correctly, BYU like lost the success rate battle last week and won by 20.
yeah,
Like that's a like they kind of defy stats, but to your point, Tony Elliott, Kalani Sitake, we're talking about two really damn good football coaches who know exactly what their teams are. And to some degree, like that's what college football is all about. Like you look at teams like I know they lost today, but a team like Navy, like by all metrics in modern college football, Navy should not have been going into week 10 with a chance at being the group of five representative in the college football
no,
playoff. But here they are, and they had that chance until they lost to North Texas today. But Virginia being on this run that they're on, BYU being on this run that they're on, like it's indicative of that. And like it's what makes college football a hell of a lot of fun. Do I think that Virginia's going to do anything if they get to the college football playoff? God,
no,
no. God, no.
no. They're this year's SMU, where it's like
Yeah.
you've got a very close non-conference loss. I mean, North Carolina State beating Georgia Tech today in the Natalie Bowl that you didn't care about.
Yeah.
The Natalie Apathy Bowl. I love all of that. But like I saw something with this with Virginia. This is the first time that they've won like seven in a row since like Chris Long played with them.
Good Lord. That's a
Like
hot
those
minute. That's been a minute.
yeah, like '07, like his senior year in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
So
Chris Long's well retired at this point from the NFL.
it's been a minute here, but yeah, the Who's are figuring it out. I don't necessarily know if they're going to do anything in the playoff, but like if they kind of have to win the ACC to get in, but at this point, somebody in that league has to make the playoff, I guess.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, like, let's say we were to get Virginia versus Georgia Tech in there. Like, I mean, Georgia Tech just showed today, like, if they get behind the eight ball, they may not like they're not going to be able to like come through. And like they almost didn't come through against Wake Forest earlier in the year. Like you barely eked that one out. And like Virginia, if nothing else, is battle tested at this point. It's mostly their fault that they're battle tested, but hey, they're winning the battles.
What's it, self-gaslighting there.
That's right.
And that's not what Notre Dame's doing. Notre Dame
No.
has won six in a row. They lost the first two games of the year. At Miami, not really a great loss for now, but then at Tech by 1 point, but Texas A&M at home, really great loss. You have the big win over USC. You're going to play Navy at some point. That win's still going to carry some level of clout.
Yeah.
I don't think you've really got anything else on the schedule beyond that. Like 10-2 for them. They have another
Potentially,
game.
I think they still play Pitt, which
Yeah,
Pitt
yeah.
is looking pretty decent right now. And actually, Pitt kind of has an outside chance at making the ACC championship game right now. So like that could potentially be at least a decent, like not a nothing win, not if nothing else.
I try to remember everything and I can't because I may but it's like Jeremiah Love's probably going to win the Doak Walker at this
Hmm.
point. He's probably I'm not saying he's going to probably be a Heisman finalist, but I think there's a legitimate chance that he does get to New York.
Oh yeah,
This is kind of what they do under Marcus Freeman. They kind of did this under Brian Kelly for a little bit. They just get hot and they get on this run. They build up momentum and I don't think they're going to go as far as they did a year ago in the playoff. Like, I think if they get in, they're probably going to lose right away, maybe win a game. But like, it's throughout the playoff era, they've been one of the top five or six programs in the
yeah.
country very consistently. And I don't know what it is, but like, they're figuring it out.
No, 100%. I mean, like CJ Carr was pretty bad today. Like, let's be clear about that.
I'm not impressed with him. I never have. I just haven't been impressed with him all year.
No, it's I'm the only time I thought he was impressive in the weirdly enough, the loss to A&M. Like I thought he played really well in that game.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, but obviously it was a loss, so like you're gonna forget about that pretty quickly. And like he hasn't looked that good since. So like your assessment there is not incorrect by any stretch of the imagination. I do think he's talented. I do think that he could, like, he's kind of the X factor for what Notre Dame could do in the playoff. If he progresses and takes a step forward, because he is a young, inexperienced quarterback, and like we're seeing across the country, like I've talked a good bit about Arch Manning on, fansided.com and other platforms today. Like Arch Manning, we're seeing a guy who was inexperienced and, needed to get his reps. We're seeing him come into his own. So that's not out of the question that CJ Carr can do that, but he is kind of the determining factor for how far this Irish team goes.
Yeah, and I kind of feel for whatever reason, I don't really trust them on the road either. Like
No.
I feel like this is like if it's at home and it's like, they've got fair winds in their sails that they can do some damage here. But
I mean, at this rate, they might be playing a home playoff game because everyone's dropping like flies around them. So,
I mean, they'd run away with the ACC if they're in there. But honestly, they've been playing a playoff game for 6 weeks in a row. So
yeah.
I think you're battle tested in that regard, regardless of your opponent. Like you're playing a playoff game against Purdue, baby,
Oh, yeah.
with three or four.
Barry Odom's got to sell it that way. That's how you get the Boilermakers all hyped up.
Yeah, that's how you hold off the inevitable that is Purdue Pete coming in there for your livelihood.
That's right. God, Purdue Pete and Big Red in Nebraska coming into a room together. That's something you don't want to see.
I may or may not have seen them both hanging out at neighbors last night. We got back from a party. I think it was a zoo, dude. That place was like, it looked like I go up to Rosemary, like that's like it's Jacksonville across the street from us, man.
100%. That's a dangerous place to be on Halloween night.
100% here. So, I don't necessarily know if, Frank the Tank is streaking across the the Virginia Highlands or, Virginia Highland right now with Charlotte and Charlottesville. I don't even know what the hell was going on. It's really late for me. So I'm gonna pass
Hell
to
yeah,
the next
brother.
topic here. All right. I've got three coaches that I'm really out on right now. I've got two teams that aren't going to make the playoff now, and then I got one just steaming pile of crap in a panhandle at the bottom of the country. So
Yeah.
let's get started with that. I'm going to punt on the Mario Cristobal, Carson Beck, and the Miami of it all. I called this. This was a trap game. You called the first one. I called this one.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't pick them to win, but like SMU is too good to be like for Miami to be like 10 and a half points on the road. And then Beck, like this is like the worst interception he's ever thrown. Like overtime, you throw it on the goal line, you miss your guy, and your season's over. Like his NFL career is over. He's not just throwing people under the bus. And Mario Cristobal, this is like the sixth time or something like that. He's lost as like a ranked to a double-digit favorite. It's unbelievable.
I mean, it's really unfortunate. Like because like I've said it before, like this Miami team is so freaking talented, man. And like they deserve better than this, but like you said it, you mixed a coach who is a perennial underachiever in Mario Cristobal with a quarterback who, lo and behold, has pissed down his leg in every big spot that he's ever been in. Like it's just like that combination was always destined to have something like this happen. And like I've been high on Miami throughout the year. At one point, I called them the best team in the country. And you know what? I still think they could have been if Carson Beck could have gotten over whatever this is. If Mario Cristobal wasn't Mario Cristobal. But here we are yet again, and it's just the same. Like I don't think we talk enough about how Miami has very much turned into what Clemson was, or not Clemson, what Texas was for like a decade
Yeah.
where Texas is back. Sam Ellinger out there on the podium. We're back. Yeah, that feels like Miami every time they do anything positive. And then sure enough, Texas wasn't back and Miami's never back. Like the U is downturned. It's an N.
Yeah, the U, it's an N. It's a
Yeah, it's an N for no because no, you're not back.
no, it's the N for knowledge in Nebraska. It's just like no other team in the country can you just pick like, oh, you're gonna lose this trap game.
Hmm.
There's nobody else in the Power Four that I think does this. There's opponents like, yeah, Penn State's gonna lose to Ohio State. Yeah, Georgia's going to lose to Alabama. Yeah, Ohio State's going to lose to Michigan. Like there's some hammer versus nail rivalries out there. But like when you look at Miami, you're like, they're gonna lose this game. Like at the end of the day, you're like, you and I said they're gonna lose to Syracuse, and you're also like, they're gonna lose to Georgia Tech. Earlier, you're like, they're gonna lose to Louisville on Friday night. Like they might lose to SMU and Dallas. And you squandered this really great run where you could have been the team to be in the ACC, and you have all the talent advantages to do this, the resources, and just blowing it. Like at this point, like you're completely out of the playoff picture first day of November.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's literally no way for Miami to get in the playoff, in my opinion, anymore.
I
Like,
think yeah, it's like 9%.
yeah, and like that 9% is absolute chaos in the ACC that gets them into the ACC championship, which is highly unlikely to happen. Like you've lost every chance of being an at-large bid for sure. And like going into this, like had you won out and gone 11-1, even if you didn't make the ACC championship, Miami is making the playoff as an at-large bid. Now that's out of the question. Like you have to win the ACC, and like I mentioned earlier, like Virginia owns the tiebreaker over you. Georgia Tech is just a more battle tested football team than you are at this point, even with the loss to NC State tonight. Like it's snowballing really quickly for Miami. And like, I don't know, man. Like, if LSU can fire Brian Kelly, like, Miami needs to have some serious conversations. I don't think it's gonna happen by any stretch of the imagination, but like, it should be conversations that are being had.
Yeah, it should be you, Florida State, or Clemson winning the division. No,
Mhm.
never going to come close.
No,
It's
not
just
even.
it's not even close. So and then instead of like really throwing up a bunch of ibises and iguanas or whatever the hell it goes on in Florida on Miami, I'm gonna talk about two other teams that I think we can cross off from the playoff picture. That would be Tennessee and Nebraska. They both suffered their third loss of the year. Tennessee fell at home in a little bit of a shootout with Oklahoma.
Mhm.
You're so right about Joey Aguilar, immensely talented, but my God, that guy will turn the football over.
It's just like I do feel like, especially as Ty Simpson's made me eat my words quite a bit, I do feel a little vindicated that Joey Aguilar has proven to be what I thought he was, which is he's a fine quarterback and he can run Josh Heupel's offense, but when you ask him to carry the load, it's not going to work out well for you, man.
It's like you can beat all the teams you should, and when you play somebody of substance, Tennessee just doesn't come through. You've lost to Georgia in overtime at home. You lost to Alabama badly and Bryant Denny, and then you lost at home in a game you probably should have beaten Oklahoma with. And
Right.
I don't understand like. And at this point, like it doesn't even matter if you went out to beat Vanderbilt. You're not getting in the playoff.
No, you're not. And like it's unfortunate, but like it was also very foreseeable. Like I think we said coming into like Tennessee's most likely going to finish exactly where we thought they were, which is like a top 25 team, but definitely not a top 15 team. And like
Yeah,
that seems what their destiny is. And like again, I think that is if you want to take the 30,000-foot view of this, that is a good thing for Tennessee. You lost a five-star quarterback who you paid millions of dollars to come there, and Nico, who obviously hadn't worked out when he was the starter, but that's regard like things went awry at quarterback, and you're still finishing as a top 25 team pretty comfortably. Like that is a good thing for the health of the program under Josh Heupel. But like this year, there should not have been that high of expectations. It should have never been there. And like
no.
Joey Aguilar, and like you mentioned the games that Tennessee's lost. It's Georgia, Alabama, and Oklahoma. Let's unpack that. You got into a shootout with Georgia, and Joey Aguilar, got beat by better players on the other side of the football with Georgia's defense and
Because
Georgia's offense.
he turned the ball over twice.
Exactly. Go to the Alabama game. He couldn't stop turning the ball over. Like they had him in a blender in that game. And then Oklahoma, for all their flaws, that defense is still ferocious, and you have Brent Venables coaching it. Like no S that you lost these three games with Joey Aguilar as your quarterback. Like that's what's going to happen when you put him up against the like best of the best competition that he's going to see this year. And honestly, when the more I think about the Vanderbilt game and the more I think about what Vanderbilt does on defense with all the different defensive looks and scheme that they like to throw at quarterbacks, I think they're going to have Joey Aguilar in a blender, and I'm leaning very heavily towards picking Vanderbilt in that game already.
So I don't recall how you viewed Tennessee entering the season. I thought they were like a 6-6 team. They're going to be better than that. They're going to be like 7-5, 8-4, I would say.
I think
The
I had
va
them like 7, 8 wins. Yeah.
Okay. So they're about what they are. They're a lot more fun than I anticipated. Aguilar's been good. Maybe he has another year of eligibility. If not, I think you go to George McIntyre, the third,
Yeah.
maybe at that point.
I could see that.
But like again, like this was always going to be a trying year for you guys, and you kept it interesting for as long as you could. Now it's no longer interesting. As far as Nebraska is concerned, the chances of the Huskers getting that being the fourth best team in the Big Ten has gone to the wayside. You lost. The Minnesota loss was really bad. Obviously, losing at home to USC was not good either. And then you had the I think you had the no, you lost to Michigan, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then but you had the big win over Cincinnati. I don't know. It's all messed up at this point. Like the Matt Rule pop, you're like, this is kind of what it is. I know you took that big extension to stay at Nebraska. Nah, dude's going to Penn State at the end of the year.
So I mean, I do feel bad for Nebraska, is particularly tonight because like Dylan Raiola left, missed basically a full half, the full second half with an injury, and you lost a close game to USC. Like had Raiola been out there, I think Nebraska probably wins that game if I'm being completely honest with you. The offense really struggled to find consistent plays like that move the consistent success on offense once Raiola went out, and like that's a tough spot to be in, but it also felt like for much of the year that Nebraska was like teetering, like
Yeah,
almost there of being like a playoff contender, but not quite. And that's where
yeah.
they've kind of felt for most of the season.
They've felt like an eight or nine win team all
Yeah.
year long. And I think the thing is like maybe next year's the year that it happens for them because it's like I mean, you talk about like whatever the schedule is, if it's going to be in your favor or not, but it's you get back to back, you achieve eligibility in back to back seasons, and then you're like, throwing a party. I'm like, this is what you should be doing now. And I kind of felt like, I don't know, maybe I'm not saying you overlooked USC a little bit, but I think that the fact that you were kind of maybe a little too celebratory the week prior,
Yeah.
after also you lost to Minnesota. That was so bad.
Yeah, that's one you're gonna wish you had back, losing to Minnesota.
Yeah. And the last little sliver here of pass, three coaches we got to pass on, man. We
Yeah.
got to pass on Jonathan Smith at Michigan State. We got to pass on Hugh Freeze at Auburn, and we got to pass on Dabo Swinney at Clemson.
Yeah.
This is there's a chance one of those three guys gets fired tomorrow.
My money's on our boy Hugh, unfortunately. Going back to Jackson Arnold this evening against Kentucky was a choice. That's for sure. And I think it might be a choice that cost him his job. Like you lost 10-3 to Kentucky. What are we doing?
You lost to Bush Hamden's offense, dude.
I,
And
I don't even know if you lost to the offense because you only allowed 10 points, but you couldn't score more than three against an off or against the Kentucky defense that's been dog water most of the year.
the worst part about it for Auburn is DJ Durkin's defense has been good all year.
100%.
Jackson Arnold and Carson Beck are going to go pro in something other than sports. I don't know what they're going to do, but maybe they're going to hang out each other, do like buddy cop stuff. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not football. It's not
They're going to be Snapchat ambassadors.
Snapchatting bastards. That's their show. There's look what I got.
That's right.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze, it's over. Like you
Yeah.
still got to play the Iron Bowl. I think that's you're 4-5 now. You won last week over Arkansas. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. You still got to play Vanderbilt, and Diego Pavia owns your soul. You phrase that
hmm
you sold at the crossroads near where Robert Johnson sold his soul.
No, it's really bad at Auburn, man. They need new blood. I mean, I held out with Hugh Freeze as long as I could because like we've seen him succeed in the SEC, but you're kind of digging your own grave now, and like I can't make excuses for you any longer. I forgot what I was gonna say. Go ahead with your
That's
point.
that's
It's
okay.
late.
Yeah, it's fine. Maybe like last Auburn thought. I know we've mentioned Drank as a fit here, but you mentioned something on like Thursday show, like the best fit for Auburn. Do you remember who that was? I've been thinking about it like for like 2 days now. Like who did Cody say? It was
I'll have
some
to go back and listen. My brain is so cooked right now,
what
brother.
was
I've been
it?
up for what? Where are we at now? That's 17 and a half hours at this point. I'm dead.
I don't think it was Summerall, but it was someone like that where like that might be
Yeah.
it was somebody substantially like this could work here. And clearly you got to end it with Hugh Freeze. I'll go Jonathan Smith real
Yeah.
quick. And then we'll go with Dabo, and then we'll get on to some punt here. Jonathan Smith, it's not working. You benched Aiden Childs, and it didn't get easier. This was the last game on your schedule that you probably could win.
Yeah.
Minnesota is. I don't know. The roster's a little disjointed. I think they're well coached. They
Yeah.
they can win good games. Then they get skull dragged by Iowa, who I think Iowa is just really good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Might have a little preview of a trap game coming next week with Iowa.
yeah, I could smell that one a mile away. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm thinking they're probably gonna win.
Yeah. I'm thinking
Yeah,
some Kinnick magic is in store next week.
yeah, I know. It's gonna be amazing. They'll be waving at people.
Hell yeah.
Don't wait. What Dan Lanning's gonna look up and see Trident landing up there? Get out of there. You're not
Wait,
sick.
wave the web foots, baby. Let's go.
That's gross. But it's not working out for Jonathan Smith
No.
there in East Lansing. I understand it took to about year three for him back in Corvallis for it to work. I know that the program's down. I know they've been dealing with scandal, but they've had an influx of money.
Mhm.
And I understand the Big Ten's landscape has changed. You can't be the third sorriest team in the Big Ten behind like Wisconsin and Purdue. Like I think you're sorrier than Penn State right now.
I think that with Jonathan Smith, what we're finding out, and like we've seen this in the history of college football, particularly modern college football, like there are coaches that are built to do more with less, but they can't necessarily do more with more.
Dave
And
Clawson.
yeah, exactly. And like Jonathan Smith, like Oregon State is not a well-resourced program. Oregon State is not an advantageously located program by any stretch of the imagination. Corvallis is in the middle of freaking nowhere. And he built a winner at Oregon State, and like I think that that is his skill, that is his superpower as a head coach. But when it comes to Michigan State, it is just a different beast. Like I fully believe that if him and Aiden Childs had stayed at Oregon State, Aiden Childs would probably be a lot better than he is right now.
Yeah.
Like it's just a different ball game that I don't think he's necessarily cut out for.
And Michigan State's one of those jobs. It's like in the Auburn, Oklahoma State. Maybe Oregon's a little bit better than that. It's like, I don't know if you're going to win a national title there, but like you can make the playoff there if
Oh
you
yeah,
get it. It shouldn't
they made
be,
the 14 playoff.
yeah, like it shouldn't be this difficult. Maybe we've just kind of
I mean, if we want to
overlooked
go
how,
back to it, they should have never fired Martin Antonio, but that's neither here nor there.
dude, he would do this million. Mark D'Antonio, he's just like, F it, dude.
Hey,
And
you
then
know what? F it was still getting you to bowl games.
yeah, no, it's not getting you to anywhere you need to be in Clemson right now. Dabo is cooked. Duke went for two. Manny Diaz just wanted it more than you. Duke's one game away from achieving bowl eligibility. Again, in a year that's kind of been tumultuous there for the Blue Devils. For the Tigers, it's just they've taken on the personality of Cade Klubnik of just being just crybabies.
I mean, you know it's bad when Duke football social media team is posting a Spirit Halloween banner on Death
Yeah,
Valley. Like that's where
yeah.
that's where Clemson is this year, so that tells you just about everything you need to know.
I think it might end for Dabo this year. I think it's gotten to that. It's kind of gotten to the Gundy line a little bit.
What if you got Dabo at Auburn?
Oh, would he really go there? I mean, he's an Alabama guy, but he's from that state.
Yeah, I don't know. If they drop a big bag of money at him, we'll see what happens.
Will he do NIL at Auburn? I don't care. Doesn't
I
matter.
just want to see what would happen.
You know, wait till I tell my sister Sarah, hey, Dabo's your head coach. Just like you shut up.
I'm gonna go drink some bleach. Probably be a response.
It's like I'm gonna drink enough white wine to forget that I went there
Yeah,
to that school.
100%.
Uh,
BAC is Pinot Grigio.
was Zach Lindsey rubbing the rock was like there in the press conference. He's like, yeah, this is the vibes in here. Could not be worse.
Yeah, I saw him talking in the NCAA division chat earlier this week, and like Dabo was filibustering throughout the entire like midweek press conference, just talking about the 2003 season.
Like,
I mean,
is
I
it?
respect it to some degree, but it's not great.
It's just kind of it's the consequence of being, not even like really a CEO type, but not being a play caller.
Yeah,
Where like, this is what happens. Like he's a wide receivers coach. He never was an offensive coordinator.
right.
He's not going to go up there like, okay, it's hitting the fan. I can draw something up. You got to go look at Garrett Riley to figure that out. I thought Tom Allen would be better, but it's not much better than what Wes Goodwin was, and it's just been a coordinator change of sucked. Jim Knowles can't is not having a good time. Tom Allen's not having a good time. Matt Patricia is thriving.
Matt Patricia's just there, still got the pencil behind his ear, not a care in the world, man.
Dude, he's like laughing like Dr. Eggman and Sonic. It's just
Hey,
like
I'll give Matt Patricia some credit too. He looks good, man. He's gotten himself a lot healthier these days. He looks good.
yeah, I think the stress of coaching in the NFL could probably get to you. Honestly, you know what? If he wants to be a college football head coach at Power Four, he's ready. He can do it.
I mean, good God, like he was probably stress eating because he had to work for Bill Belichick as long as he did, given what we're seeing now with old Bill.
Oh, dude, the Lions like pre Sheila Ford Hamp, like that's gonna be awful.
Yeah, like he's not built like Dan Campbell, who probably doesn't hasn't like listened to a word that Sheila Ford Ham has said the entire time he's been there.
Matt Patricia, you should go coach at Auburn. That's what I want.
There we go. That's what we need. That's what we need.
That's what we need. He shows up every press conference wearing a Bucky's t-shirt.
Just had some buck nuts right before.
He's like, this tastes like waffle crisp. Oh God, yeah, yeah. Hugh Freeze might be gone tomorrow. Jonathan Smith might be gone at the end of the year, and maybe possibly Dabo.
Yeah, I mean, Dabo's the wild card. Like, it would make sense. I would like. I don't think anyone would be. It's one of those things that it would be surprisingly unsurprising, if that makes like the situation dictates that you probably should fire Dabo Swinney at this point. But he's such an institution and he's done so much for the program that you had longed for that like it's a very tough decision to make.
He just needs to punch somebody, and the Woody Hayes decision's made for you.
There we go. That's what we did. Yeah.
Could you imagine if he just punches somebody? I could.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Like Dabo just snaps. Like Dabo crashes out completely.
He just punches the hell out of his kitty because he can't hold a snap or something like that.
Maybe he couldn't handle the punt. We're gonna finish the show with punt. Um, we're punting on a handful of teams that are still alive for the playoff, but we're not quite sure are gonna make there. And that's a group that includes Vanderbilt, Texas, Georgia Tech, Oklahoma, and the USC Trojans. Obviously, all of them except for Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt picked up wins today, but like Texas got a big win over Vanderbilt, Oklahoma got the big win over Tennessee, and USC got the big win over Nebraska. So like a lot of these were in some elimination games. Georgia Tech didn't think they were an elimination game, but they
No.
sure as hell were. Let's start with Vanderbilt though, because I think of the between them and Georgia Tech, I think they're still in a better position than Georgia Tech when it comes to making the playoff.
Yeah, Vanderbilt, you've got to win. You got to play Auburn. If you win Tennessee, and I forget what their other game is, probably a league game here.
God, who is it?
It's
I just looked at it
it's
earlier today.
Auburn. Maybe it's Mercer. Maybe no.
No, Kentucky. They've got
Okay,
Kentucky.
Kentucky. So like you just win your final three games. You're probably going to get it 10-2 as the fifth SEC team.
Yeah, and I mean like that's doable. Like, I mean, hell, this loss isn't going to hurt you that bad because you did almost come back against Texas on the road in DKR. So like, it's not that bad of a loss. It's only 3 points on the ledger. Like, you can sell this to the committee as a quality loss, more or less. And like, more importantly, I think in the midst of that comeback. We saw the live dog Diego Pavia kind of get his mojo back. He hadn't played very well for about 6 to 8 quarters coming into the second half or the basically the fourth quarter of this game. And he finally like found his mojo. And so like if that continues, that's obviously very important for Vandy.
I was writing something for Dawn of the Dog about the outcome of this game. I'm like, okay, this is one of the two like games, one of the handful of games of consequence like that will impact the playoff. This will tell more about Georgia than anything. It's like, okay, who do you actually have to fear? And I'm like, I wrote this article and then I saw Texas basically almost give it away. I'm like, I got to redo this. I got to redo this thing
Yeah.
completely. Um, Texas is like Georgia doesn't have to worry about Vanderbilt because like if Vanderbilt makes the playoff, they make the playoff, but Georgia doesn't have to play them.
Yeah.
Texas, like Georgia can eliminate Texas from the playoff in 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Texas also has to play A&M. They also have to play major rival Arkansas with nothing to lose there in Fayetteville. I don't think Texas makes it in.
I I'm not ruling it out. This is so I it's kind of weird, but I think the narrative around Texas is actually flipped and not we haven't really talked about it. Arch Manning's not the problem with this team anymore. Arch Manning's playing damn good football,
No,
man.
he's been playing pretty good since really since Florida. He's been playing a lot better. The Kentucky
Yeah.
game got weird, but weird things happened in
I was
Lexington.
about to
But
say that's Lexington, man. Like again, the checkout line at the Kroger Field is you it's not a place you want to go. Weird things happen. Ask Hugh Freeze. And but like when you get down to it, man, like this, like Arch is playing really good football. I think he's averaging like over, in the win over Mississippi State and overtime, and then the win over Vanderbilt. He's got 6 touchdown passes, averaging over 300 yards a game, like 68% completion percentage. Like he's playing a lot better. And you watch the eye test and he's passing it, man. Like the mechanics are back. He's not like abandoning his mechanics under pressure. He's manipulating deep. Like he's looking like the quarterback you thought he was going to be there. And like the rest of Texas is letting him down. They can't run the ball. The offensive line isn't very good. And this is somewhat his fault, but because Texas's defense had to shoulder so much of the load early in the season when the offense was non-functional and with Arch at the helm, the defense seems like it's wearing down a little bit.
Yeah, they can't run the football, which is a problem. And I believe I say the guy's last name wrong. I think it's Jordan Taft. I think the
Yeah, yeah.
emotional leader on safety. He's really beat up. He didn't play in this game. He might be back in time in a couple weeks here. I think, but Texas have a bye. No, they've got
Who do they got? Texas schedule. Yeah, they've got a bye before Georgia.
okay, so they can get healthy in time for that. Maybe we'll see what happens. But yeah, Arch isn't really the problem here. My thing is like you have to win out, and
Yeah,
I don't think 9-3 is going to cut it. The thing is like, could you beat Georgia or A&M? Yes, because I think Georgia and A&M can afford a loss. I don't think you can beat both.
I think there is a world where 9-3 could get in there, and I think it does include a loss to Georgia. If you beat A&M, that would give you wins over Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, and A&M to get to this point. So that's three
Hmm.
very high quality wins. Then you go to your losses, which are Florida, which is your bad loss for sure. But then you have a loss to two top five teams in Ohio State and Georgia, most likely. So like in terms of 9-3 resumes, it's going to be a lot hard. It's going to be pretty hard to get better than that unless you're Oklahoma. If not, Oklahoma were to finish 9-3.
Look, I said at this all year, you got to win one of the three games between Georgia, Florida, and Ohio State. And you've lost the first two, so you have to beat Georgia.
Yeah, but we also didn't think Texas A&M was going to be the number 3 team in the country when we were making that assessment.
No, I think we like thought that like they'd be like 8, 9 win team,
Yeah,
maybe 10. Like they had an upside there. I know we weren't like
and there's a very real chance that A&M is 11-0 going into DKR in the final week of the season.
yeah, that's
Which do you trust an 11-0 A&M team to complete it? Because I sure as hell don't.
I know I was watching the game with a Test in the booth, and it wasn't Jesse Palmer because he was doing some senior bachelor things.
That's
But he taught me one thing: never trust Texas A&M. And Jordan Rogers in the booth, I'm not really used to watching him call games. It's different.
an experience for sure.
He's like, oh, he definitely caught that ball. Like, dude, the ball bounced. What are you talking about?
Yeah, whatever.
So Vanderbilt and Texas, like I'm not ruling out making the playoff. I think that they're in that realm with Oklahoma where like they can get that fifth spot. Because right now in the SEC, you're looking at Alabama, A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss are kind of more or less comfortably in.
Yeah, no, 100%. Georgia Tech's path is a lot more difficult after today.
Yeah, you got to beat Georgia, and if you do, you also have to win in Charlotte.
I mean, you got to beat Georgia. Like I to your point, like I don't even if you beat Georgia, I'm still not sure that an at-large opportunity is there for you because like you don't like you would have one quality win.
Yeah.
Like and two losses if you were like to lose the ACC championship game. Like that's an uphill battle you're
Also,
facing.
follow me this. Like, if you do beat Georgia, that would also probably mean Georgia loses to Texas, and Georgia's a 9-3 team. It's not that quality.
Yeah, 100%. So like it's a real catch 22. Georgia Tech, man, like I mean, we've sung their praises. Like we like Brent Key, we like Buster Faulkner, we like Haynes King. Like this is a fun, good football team. But we did worry what the ceiling was. And good teams don't lose the game that they lost today. Like the defense completely let them down. Like the offense put up 30. When Georgia Tech puts up 30, they should win football games, especially against an NC State.
NC State's always had this capable in them. CJ Bailey, I think, is going to be one of the most fun, exciting quarterbacks next year when he's a
Yeah, right.
junior. The guy who's throwing the passes to Jeremiah Smith at like Miami Northwestern, that whatever high school they went to down there in South Florida.
Right.
The Wolfpack got everything they want on the ground today.
Yeah. Which I mean, that doesn't bode well for the Georgia game. I can assure you of that.
No, no. Chauncey Bowens, Nate Frazier, Stockton. And also with like Tech, like because you were a triple option school, and then more importantly, Haynes King's kind of been more of a running quarterback. Like for Georgia Tech to be good, you have to be good at stopping the run. There's really like you have to lay your hat on that. And if you can't do that, you can't win.
Yeah, I mean, like so much about what has made Buster Faulkner great is the fact that the defense has allowed him to control the flow of games. And like obviously today that did not happen. NC State controlled every bit of the flow of this game.
Yeah, it's I'm having dinner, I'm having dinner with my fiance, like, yeah, the bees are in trouble. And I looked down, I'm like, they are having a bad time.
A real bad time, man. Let's talk about two teams that didn't have a bad time, but are still kind of on the fringe. Like Oklahoma, much to your chagrin, is still alive, man. They're still getting after it.
It's like defense is good. That strip sack of Joey Aguilar with the Tennessee guys trying to take the ball from like Armace Thomas. He's hobbling, he's just like going
He
down.
can't move. Like it's like a real Greg Jennings situation. Like Greg Jennings put the team on his back, though.
uh, Almost stepped out of bounds. I think honestly that was my favorite play of the season, just that I've seen. It was like this is unbelievable.
Oh man. But okay, let's paint this out though, because obviously Oklahoma, the big conversation since week one of the season has been the schedule that they have in the SEC. But you look how it's shaken out now. You get your bye week. Hopefully you get R. Mason Thomas and whatever's wrong with his leg healthy. And then you go on the road to Bryant-Denny. Now, obviously, that is a very tough game. Having said that, that's probably the best defense that Ty Simpson will have faced this season.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a couple in the South Carolina game. Ty Simpson did not play well, and they almost got in trouble against the South Carolina team, who is definitively worse than Oklahoma. And there's such it. I'm not. It's not that there's a thin margin for error, but Ty Simpson has to play very damn well for Alabama to not get into a dogfight. And with the strength of Oklahoma's defense, I'm not sure you'll want to get in a dogfight with the Sooners. And I think they have the ability to force Ty Simpson to get Alabama in a dogfight in that game. Then you host Missouri, who's a shell of what they were. Like
Mhm.
you're down you're the what were supposed to be your top two quarterbacks on the depth chart, and you have Zoller in there who looked fine at the end of that Vanderbilt game, but don't really trust that against Oklahoma. And then the LSU game no longer looks that daunting at all to finish the season. So like there's a very real world where Oklahoma does finish 10-2.
Yeah, because like Mizzou is a shell of itself with Pribula out. Yes, it's a rivalry game from the Big Eight days, so we'll see what happens with the peace pipe. LSU is going to completely mail that game in, so you can pretty much get two wins there. You're at 9-3, and you brought up the good points with Alabama. Alabama can afford an SEC loss. They haven't had one yet. Their only loss is non-conference to Florida State. They
Which
lost.
continues to look wilder by the week. But
It's insane. Also, it's like UAB beating Memphis looks ridiculous as well. That's the two that
yes.
like that don't make any sense at all. I think like last year the craziest one was Kentucky beating Ole Miss. But anyway,
Yes.
Alabama lost to Oklahoma a year ago.
Hmm.
Granted, that was in Norman, but you bring up a point. One of the things that has hurt teams that Oklahoma's beat is like if you can't run the ball, you really struggle because the pass rush is relenting. Whereas I don't know, Texas did run the ball, but Oklahoma, I don't know how the hell it won that game, but Ole Miss ran the ball pretty good.
That game was
Tennessee,
Red River was weird as hell. The more
yeah,
you look at it, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
but Ole Miss was able to run the ball,
Yeah.
and they're Ole Miss is just a really good team. Alabama struggled running the ball all year long. Ty Simpson's got to make it more likely than not than happen, and I think he could do it,
Mhm.
but like it's like 80-20. I'm like there's a chance where I think that Oklahoma could pull off the upset potentially.
Yeah, and I mean, like, let's not like I don't want to say I'm gonna predict an upset because I don't think I'm there yet. But I have my like antenna raised for next week with Alabama LSU because I think getting Brian Kelly out of that building in Baton Rouge might have LSU pretty hyped up to play that game.
Yeah, I think that's within the realm of
So
possibility
I mean,
there.
you could like, there's a chance where Alabama's coming off a war, whereas Oklahoma's coming off a bye week.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's also the factor too with Georgia, Texas. Texas has a bye. Georgia has as the ultimate trap game at Mississippi State.
Yeah. It's
Right.
the SEC. Like, again, I understand that we have a month left in the season. Nothing is settled. Not a damn
No,
thing is settled.
no.
And
Yeah, let's move on to the last team, the
yeah,
Big Ten with the USC Trojans. Their two losses are to a bowl eligible Illinois team, and then you lost to Notre Dame. You think you beat Michigan, I think, right?
I think that's right.
And then you beat Nebraska today. It's all jumbled up here. I think that's how that goes. But yeah, you lost to Notre
Yeah.
Dame.
Yeah, that's right. You
You,
beat
you
Michigan. You handled Michigan 31-13 in that game.
you're you're in the position where like I was talking like Michigan's the team that can screw everything up. USC could screw a lot of things up there too. Like if the Big Ten's going to get a fourth team in, uh, depending on how much we view Oregon, Oregon may not make the playoff.
Well, I was just about to say, Bueller, November 22nd, Lincoln Riley and his team make a little trip to Eugene, Oregon. And that could be a play-in game for the college football playoff.
Oregon might be taking some L's here in November, man.
Yeah, it could
Because
it could get out off the rails pretty quickly.
do they have like Iowa, who's that's a tough team. They have like USC. Oh, and you have a Washington problem. Washington's also good.
Yep, yep. And I mean, hell, in between all of those games, Minnesota comes to town, and God knows what PJ Fleck has cooking.
Minnesota, every league has like one team where like I don't know what they are, and that's the Big Ten team. I'm like, I don't know what this is. It's the variance team. I don't know what Minnesota's bringing to the table on any given Saturday.
Not a damn clue in the world. Like
It's a-
that they could lose that game by 60 or they could win by 3. Like those both of those outcomes are in the realm of possibility.
they're bringing a hot dish to every a potluck. What's in it? It's a hot dish. Well, what's in it? Meat. What kind of meat? It's a hot dish.
It's a casserole. What do you want?
It's a thing. I guess it's probably tie bonus. Do you where would you put USC amongst these other four teams, like likelihood of them making the playoff?
I would they're probably still fourth. I would say. Like I think they're above Georgia Tech, but probably still
Yep.
behind Vandy, Texas, and Oklahoma. Just because I think that the opportunities that the SEC teams have that we're talking about in this conversation are still greater than what USC has. Like USC, it's basically beat Oregon and you might have a chance. But they're also like, for whatever reason, and maybe this changes, maybe that perspective changes when the college football playoff rankings come out and we're not looking at the AP poll when we're like trying to dissect this. But like the fact that USC has the same record as Michigan and is still behind Michigan in the rankings, the fact that they basically had the same resume as Tennessee coming into this week and they were almost 10 spots behind Tennessee, like USC hasn't been getting a whole hell of a lot of respect to this point. And like maybe that again, maybe that changes when the selection committee gets together and puts together their rankings. But as of now, like it feels like where they've been in the college football rankings to this point in the season, it just feels like they're fighting an uphill battle and like the Oregon game is their only chance. That probably shouldn't be the case, but it is.
Well, sometimes you gotta fight on and you gotta do this while you're on the bases like Will Smith if you're cool, but he's not, neither are the Dodgers. And this was 3 yards in the cloud of punt here on Fall Start for Week 10. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter at X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at the Sizzle20. You can follow the show at CFB Fall Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. That's what Georgia's ranked right now. Will probably be ranked tomorrow and then in the playoff. And my hands are shaking, but even when your hands are shaking, that means it's a 5-star review, or you're waving at somebody. I don't know.
My hands are shaking because North Carolina got an ACC win, baby. Let's go.
Dude, they beat Syracuse. Neil Adler was going through it. He's like, "This is a sad bag of crap, team. I don't want to do this
Look,
anymore."
you played trick or treat with Bill Belichick, and that's a game you're gonna lose.
No. What kind of candy do you think Bill Belichick hands out? I think he does hand out candy.
Oh, he hands out mounds for sure. As someone who hates coconut, it's mounds all day.
He's probably got the corner lot yard where he's like he's like fired at the chainsaw. I bet you he gets really into Halloween.
Oh God, yeah, 100%.
But it's like every third year. Whereas like the other 2 years, he's like, I got stuff to do the other time. It's like, hey kids.
I do got to shout out WEEI, the radio station up in Boston, the flagship
Yeah.
station. in like their, midday programming, it's four male radio hosts and then one female, Lucy Burgess, who is a big Red Sox fan. Very fun Twitter follow. But they dressed up as four different versions of Bill Belichick, and then she was Jordan, and it was incredible. Like they had like the Dunkin' commercial, Bill Belichick. They had him leaving the apartment of apparently Jordan in that one video that went viral a couple years ago. Like unbelievable Halloween costume. Got to shout him out for that.
Is that how you say? Is that how you say your first name, Jordan, or no?
Oh no, it's Jordan, but you
Uh,
got to these days we're just pronouncing it Jordan because that's how it's
that's
spelled.
that's fine. I got a story from a Halloween party I went to. If you got anything, we'll share that, and then we'll get out of here.
Let's go. You go ahead first.
All right. So we go to our friend's place last night, and it's their house party. It's what they're doing. Obviously, me and the Arizona State podcast dressed up as Richie and Margaret Tenenbaum. It's early or late. I don't even know. They dressed up like we're gonna be cryptids, but we're cryptids who have office jobs. So the wife is like Mothman, but like has like a suit. It has like giant wings and stuff. And
Hell
it's
yeah.
and the husband he he was he had an inflatable fat suit. It was that like a little fan on the back. And he could tuck his arms in there, he had like little googly eyes and a hat. He could be like the Fresno Night Walkers. Just look that up. It's like this like little finger thing that's walking around.
That's Fresno Nightwalkers, you said?
Yeah, Fresno.
Oh, hell yeah. What is this?
Fresno Nightcrawlers. Yeah, it's just
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah, he had a hat on. He could put his arms inside, and he's just walking around like this. Absolute nightmare fuel. And I'm like, also we played a game of beer pong, and one of the rules I used to play in college is when you're down to your last cup, you have to say like a fake line from a movie, like and when you make your shot, so it's really epic, and you're just making people laugh.
Yeah.
So instead of saying like, frankly, I don't give a damn, but you'd be like, and this is the last time I go to the grocery store, and then you make the cup. You do it, so everyone's like laughing hysterically.
That's the last time I ever use a public restroom.
But like you end up missing like five shots. So you have to say like five different lines. It's the best party thing I've ever thought of.
That's really good. I like that a lot.
All right.
Oh, I was the DD last night because I had to work at 7 a.m. this morning, so I didn't get too crazy, but did see a couple good costumes that I want to shout out. A couple of our friends, our friend Vin and his wife, they dressed as Jesus of Nazareth and a Roman soldier, which was an incredible combo. But then my favorite because just I love a good like non like pop culture, non-modern pop culture reference. Then when you just like throw it back to something that was like cool like 10 years ago. There was a couple that came dressed as the Mythbusters, which I was
Yeah.
just like, hell yes. Like she had her hair pulled up like so it was all tucked into a hat and then had like a mustache painted on. It was an incredible costume. And I was like, now that the NC State podcast looked at me and she goes, who is that? And I was like, it's the Mythbusters. What are you talking about?
We went to a Mexican restaurant beforehand. People didn't know who we were. It's like, are you dressed up? And I'm like, yeah. This is how we look. Yeah. I've got like a stained brown jacket from Goodwill. You think I wear this out every day with a headband?
Look, man, I don't envy restaurant workers on Halloween because some people do dress like that. You don't know who's in costume sometimes. That we went to a an Asian restaurant beforehand before the party that we went to, and we were in costume. Obviously, we were with friends who were the classic pickle and witch combo. They were not a couple's costumes, obviously, but another couple walked in and I couldn't quite tell if they were dressed up in Halloween. She had on a dress that in theory could have been trying to put on a nice dress, but also looked like a Halloween costume. So like it was a really hard experience. And I don't envy the restaurant workers this time of year.
I mean, my waiter was Peter Pan, so that's like we gotta know.
Grow up,
This,
Peter Pan.
but before you grow up here, also, we're about to have it's about to be shipped back another hour here.
Hell
It's
yeah.
gonna be. Make sure you don't clap like this. Clap like this because this is false start.